Might as well. So it was about a month and a half, 2 months later, and I was recovering from my broken leg, and I was honestly going to make some sort of move at vengeance against him in some way. But before I could, the DEA and the ATF showed up to his residence and arrested him, put him in Pelican Bay for 30 years off of something that was completely unrelated to what I happened to me, right? And then 2 weeks later, his trailer burned down. Talk about karma.
Did he never sexually force you?
No, he never sexually, and I rarely tell that story. But if I do, I usually include, I didn't get raped. I wasn't forced to do anything. Which, I'm sorry, how many girls get kidnapped can say that they weren't sexually assaulted in some way? Not many. So I am very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that. And I think that it was because he still wanted to try and woo me, and use his powers of persuasion to try and get it willfully, if you will.
So he had some decency in him?
He had some decency left in him. I'm not sure. And perhaps it was because I was friends with his son for so long. I don't know. There wasn't much decency in a person like that. Because while he never sexually assaulted me, he did physically assault me, And I mean, hey, I just, kind of took it with a grain of salt and knew that it would work out. I don't know. It's just one of those gut things, My grandfather taught me to always listen to your gut. Always listen to it. Hunches are usually the right way.
What other lessons have you learned in life?
Appreciate everything. I would give my life for 5 minutes of my son in the sickest crying. And I see people push their children off every single day. Appreciate everything.
You lost your son?
I lost custody of him because my ex-husband stalked and harassed me, malicious stuff for quite some time, and it kind of pushed me into an alcoholic state to where when I first separated from my husband, I took him to his father because I knew that he'd be safe there because my ex-husband was crazy. And I saw him every single day. I called him every single night. I got a job and I was working, and then my ex-husband struck. And I lost my house, my job. So I just kept drinking. And I saw my son less and less. And
How old is he?
He's 4. And it just got longer and longer. And then my son's father has a manipulative girlfriend who's a lot younger than he is. And she saw it fit to try and push me out of their lives as much as possible. And she did. Do you want to see a picture of him? Yeah.
Do you have all the stuff you need in there?
Oh yeah. This is my life in here. All my writing.
Good, thank you.
This was him about 3 years ago. There's that one.
Yeah.
And this one.
He's a little high.
His name's Jameson.
You
Yep.
know what he's up to now?
Not a clue. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in over a year. I was living within 10 miles of him. And my mother also aided me not being able to see him because they believed my ex-husband over me. I went to, because after I broke my leg, I haven't taken painkillers, not once, because I did when I was in the hospital and that's it. I have a metal bar and 2 pins in place down here. There's that guy's scar, So I started openly smoking marijuana as my painkiller. And my mom doesn't agree with that because it's not what doctors order in her opinion. And I started openly smoking weed, and they kind of used that against me too. So My mom wouldn't let me at her house unless I would drug test for her and not be on marijuana. I tried to make, I told her I won't smoke before I come to your house. I won't take anything to your house, because that was the only place I could see my son was at her house. And just wouldn't have it. I haven't even got to speak to him on the phone in 3 months.
Where did he live?
In Joshua Tree. I went to rehab in Utah for weed for 3 months in attempts to try and regain some sort of custody. And the whole time that I was out in Utah, the only thing they kept telling me was, you need to come back here. You need to come back here. So I finished rehab. I went back there and I stayed clean off of marijuana for another 3 months. Still nothing. Didn't get to see my son. This was over Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff too. In the meantime, I'm homeless, which I choose to be most of the time, Like I could get a job. I've got college degree. I could, But they just, my mother wouldn't let me at her house. My sister's on felony probation, so I couldn't be around her anyways. I have had no contact with my son's father since before September of last year. And it was becoming harder and harder. And then my dad died. But, like I said earlier, every day your attitude should reflect what you want out of life. And every day I don't share my story with people so that they can think that they got it the worst. If I can make them think and feel like $1 million while they think that their life is the worst out there and not even tell them about mine, it's a good day. It's a good day. So that's what I do. That's what I do.
Just get a white shot here.
Oh man. I knew today was going to be a good day. I knew it was.